Hello, 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 and welcome to Dolphin's Dive, the weekly strategically minded, but the sort of strategically minded, except I always forget what the cards say and what they do, and everything goes all up in the air. Dolphin's Dive with your host, Dolphin. The strategically minded Handelabra. I think I forgot to say Handelabra. Whatever. This is Handelabra. Don't you know? Also, hello, little Sharky. Handelabra believes in civil rights for everyone and in being as inclusive as possible, so any comments or actively working against that goal are not welcome and will not be tolerated. You can follow us at Handelabra Games on Twitter, or Twitch is Handelabra Games, Handelabra on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. You can follow me personally at LewDolphin21 on Twitter, and on Twitch and YouTube, it's just LewDolphin. Handelabra believes in civil rights for everyone. Sentinels, the Multiverse, One Deck Dungeon, and Aeon's End are available on Steam, iOS, and Android device. Well, let me back up a step. I'm speaking too fast. Sentinels, the Multiverse, One Deck Dungeon, and Bottom of the Ninth are available on Steam, iOS, and Android devices. Aeon's End is available in early access as of today at 2 p.m. Eastern on Steam. And I think it's only Steam for now, but of course that might change in the future. But yeah, Aeon's End is now available on early access. You'll notice that I'm not playing Aeon's End, but it's because I also haven't quite learned Aeon's End yet. Plus, I have some other things I have planned for today, such as finishing the Forest of Shadows Gauntlet. But anyway, those games are available on Steam, iOS, Android devices, as well as analog, cardboard, ink, and dice, and you can get the games and more info at handelabra.com. Whee! So, yes, Aeon's End is out. And well, it's out in early access, which means it's not, you know, final product ready, but you guys can go ahead and get a head start in playing the game beyond the very singular alpha product or whatever that was available for the Kickstarter. But for today, I'm not going to play it. If I play it, it might be next week. I do want to play Aeon's End on stream for sure, but I don't want to just jump into it blindly like I did with One Deck Dungeon. While that was fun and all, I want to be able to provide something that's more informative and exciting than a learning stream, I guess. But for today, we're continuing the Forest of Shadows Gauntlet and hopefully finishing it, since it's been, well, it's been 2 weeks of effort, but it's been 4 weeks since we started this, so we probably want to try to finish this. We have the Lair of Indrax, the Mudlands, the Realm of Venom, and the Vile Roots defeated thus far. Left with the Smoldering Ruins, which is a 3-diamond dungeon. Lair of Indrax is also a 3-diamond dungeon, but Smoldering Ruins, which I can't actually view from here, but it is a difficult dungeon because dice continually get exiled, and when you get to the boss, half of your dice that you would normally roll don't get rolled. And especially in a 2-player game, it's actually a little more difficult because it's half your dice rounded down, and so if both heroes have, say, 3 mana dice, each hero would then roll 3 divided by 2, which is 1.5, rounded down to 1 mana. So even though my cards let me have 3 mana dice per hero against the boss, I would only be rolling 1 mana die each. So that would be very difficult. So it's going to be very important that when I go into the boss, that I try to have even numbers of dice for each hero if possible. If I have a couple that are odd, so be it, but we'll try for even numbers. That's one thing to keep in mind. Now, before I actually hit next game, I think I could get back to the screen. But we do have here, you know, the history. Alchemist and Hunter were victorious over the Mud Golem. Druid and Slayer were victorious over the Poison Elemental. Druid and Hunter were victorious over the Corrupted Tree. And Alchemist and Warden were victorious over the Indrax. And I previously noted that we have used heroes. Well, these are all Forest of Shadows heroes, since we're continuing with the Forest of Shadows theme for the Forest of Shadows Gauntlet. But all of these heroes performed twice except for 2, and it looks like it was the Slayer and the Warden, right? 2 Alchemists, 2 Druids, 2 Hunters, so Slayer and Warden. So preemptively, I'm going to select those heroes. It's not going to be my final selection, but just to try and see if we could win out with each hero participating exactly twice, just, you know, for fun. But yeah, the Smoldering Ruins. On the first floor, when you explore, exile 1 die. On the second floor, when you explore, also exile a 2nd die. So exploration is going to be quite challenging. In fact, it might be, this is one of those dungeons, I think, where spending time is preferred, because the more time you spend, the less dice get exiled. Which you obviously have to balance with the fact that you have to develop your party. But, you know, in my typical playthrough, I get to level 4 halfway through the 3rd floor. It kind of be ideal to get to level 4 at the end of the 3rd floor, perhaps while I have exhausted the deck and I'm currently what's the word? I am not milling, but I'm wrapping up whatever doors are there at the expense of 1 heart for every 3 time. So that's probably a goal, is to try to balance that out. I don't necessarily need to get to level 4, but I think, unlike, well, let's read the boss rules. Fire Giant, roll dice for only half rounded up of each type of stat icon. So, oh, it's rounded up. Oh, never mind. I lied about everything, guys. Actually, that must be a 1-player rule. Or a 2-player rule. What is it, actually? Oh, it is rounded up. Okay, I lied entirely. I don't know how this boss works. I thought it was rounded down this entire time. Let's start over again. Hi, guys. Welcome to Dolphin's Die. But like I said, I misremember all these cards. So I guess it's fitting that 2 minutes into the stream I screw up. Only half rounded up. So 3 becomes 2. So actually odd numbers are preferred. So it's, I almost had it right. But it's odd that are preferred, because if I have 3 mana dice, 3 divided by 2 is 1.5 rounded up to 2. So 3 becomes 2. But if I have 4 dice, 4 divided by 2 is 2, so I'd still only have 2 dice if my base stat is 4. So my goal is odds. I'm playing the odds. All right, so you can see immediately on the boss that we do need to have some mana dice that can get 5s and 6s, skills that can get us 5s and 6s preferred. Obviously, we need some strength and agility, and 13 is normally not too bad of a number to get, but since we're only rolling half as many dice, it can be costly. But I believe this does not account for heroic dice. So heroic dice, we should be fine. So getting to level 4 and getting those 2 heroic dice would be great. In addition, since we've been going with the aggression focus, our fearlessness skill will enable us to roll an additional heroic die per hero. So for each round of the boss, we will, if we get to level 4, we will have 4 heroic dice. So with all of the dice that are going to get exiled, we probably don't want to exile too many heroics, because we start with 6 and we want to be able to have 4 for the boss. That will certainly alleviate a lot of our stat needs on the boss. Really, the thing we need to focus most on is being able to get 5s and 6s on manas consistently. Now, for the rest of the dungeon, however, obviously agility is super important on the 3rd floor. And then mana, not as important immediately. And strength, this strength 6 on the 3rd floor, kind of icky, but the 2 strength on the 1st floor, not too bad. And then the perils, I guess traps are what some people call it, because that's obviously a bear trap symbol. 4, 5, 3, shield icons on the 4 and the 3. So perils, as always, will be quite perilous, especially since we can't use our aggression focus, or aggression talent, or fearlessness talent from the aggression focus words. I'm trying to watch my words. Hello, Fosuk, and hello, Team Orchid. Welcome to the stream where I misspeak everything. All right, so now we have an idea of what we're trying to aim for in terms of colors. So now let's take a look at the Slayer and the Warden and see if these will enable us to go through with that, or if we will need to change it. Slayer gives us 1 strength and 3 agility. Warden gives us 3 strength and 1 mana. So this gives us a lot of strength, 4 strength, 3 agility, and 1 mana. And without any other items, since we round up, this will be on the boss. This will be 1 strength and 2 agility, 2 strength and 1 mana. So we would have a total of 4 strength, 1 strength, 2 strength, 3 strength, and 2 agility and 1 mana currently on the boss. So obviously that's not too good, just in terms of those numbers. Now the mana is definitely very weak. The heroic feats and the innate skills though. Slayer stores a heroic die here when a combat is completed, and so the momentum is actually a very powerful heroic feat, I think, since you fight a lot of combats, and therefore you kind of get a heroic die every other encounter. Rhythm, if you have a 6 in your pool, your partner may re-roll any or all of their dice, only in perils. And I don't really get this to trigger too much, but when I do, if I have a 6, I'm usually pretty good. But that said, you know, sometimes I get a 6 and then 1s and 2s, and that doesn't fill 3s, 4s, or 5s. The Warden. Roll your stored die. Store a heroic die here. When a card becomes experience, and we only store 1 die at a time. Protector. Spend 1 time and prevent 1 heart or 1 poison, and ignore the rule to split damage equally. Neither of those are really going to help with our mana situation though. And since we do have an innate mana on combats, we probably want to consider bringing someone that can provide for more mana. That said, obviously we do have these basic skills, and the Warden, who has more strength, could utilize True Strike to gain a 4 of any type, and that would immediately place on this mana 4 for all intents and purposes for the combats. It is a combat skill, so I can't use it on perils anyway, so at least for the time being, mana, I guess we could get away without. And since the boss, you know, the mana is only important for getting the 5s and 6s, True Strike plus Aid would at least provide us with a 5. The Slayer is giving us agility. Storing a heroic here when you complete a combat encounter. And yeah, the Protector skill, being able to ignore the rule to split damage can save you, and it allows you to kind of ignore, like, normally you kind of want to spread your damage around, and that kind of happens, but you know, if a hero has 3 damage, well, I guess with 3 hearts that is death, but if a hero has 2 damage, and the other hero has 0 damage, and you take 2 damage and you have to split it, that ends the game. So the Warden with Protector can at least stop you from losing the game. It also prevents a heart, but even if it weren't for that, you could also put all the damage on the 3 hero, or the person with more health rather. Plus, it enables you to put poison on the hero with less health, or with less damage, more health, and so it's so yeah. All right, so I think with True Strike we're probably fine on mana for the time being. We can always get mana items. Just 1 mana item will give us a mana die on the boss. We would need 3 mana items to get 2 dice on the boss, or if we do 1 on each hero, that would be 2 dice across both heroes. The Slayer has agility, so that enables us to use precision, which will increase another of your dice by this die's value, and this can be used on heroics, so that can also account for the lack of mana. The other one is reroll, which no, I'm not going to do that one. Rerolls I don't really like. It comboed with warrior pretty well, as they like damage to charge heroic. Yes. Roll your stored die. Store a heroic here for each damage you take. You may only store 1 die at a time. Yeah, so that works really well. But you can also get that with momentum without taking damage. Anyway. And let's not forget, we do have 2 bull rushes, which means that each large box's difficulty will be reduced by 1 twice. So 2. So that's going to be interesting. 13s are now 11s, fun fact. Assuming that actually does work twice, which I don't see why it wouldn't. Anyway, so precision is there. The only other ones are the perils. Increase 1 of your dice by 1, or if choosing a peril option would cost more than 1 time, reduce it to 1 time. But as we said, we kind of want to spend time in this dungeon to avoid exiling too much dice. Too many dice. So we're gonna go with precision. And our lack of mana, I guess, I mean, I don't know, we'll see how it goes. But we do need to be very focused on mana acquisition, or the means of circumventing that, because especially when it comes to the boss, we're going to need to not only have mana dice, but also 5s and 6s, if possible. That said, this 6 over here has no consequence if you can't cover it. It just does less damage to the boss. So really, if I can cover all the 13s and perhaps one of these 5s, that would be good enough. The warden can prevent a damage at the cost of exiling another die, but we'll see. All right, so forest deck, cure aid, because that's kind of worked for me, and I think that's fine. Let's go and start the game now. I'm gonna turn the music up because I can barely hear it. Right away, we're going to explore, which means we have an immediate exile decision. And as I said, heroics, we kind of want to not exile. And, well, let's exile a mana since it's less important right now. But we're going to be exiling lots of dice. The end of floor 3 might be very challenging. Just gonna... All right, skip the use heroic feats step. Well, none of us have heroic feats we can use right now. And lots of mana on this card, which is actually pretty bad. Oh yeah, we have blind luck, so this strength 2 is also a non-issue right now. Bull rush can be used. Fearlessness obviously is great. But yeah, all those manas that we don't really have. The item is a strength die. The skill is a mana skill, which isn't really too good for us, but this can circumvent the, or well, not circumvent, but this can give us a mana 5 for the boss. So that's something to consider. Now, a good way to spend time is to just flee and come back. Even if you're not going to actually, even if you could fight the encounter, just flee and spend 2 extra time. And I think I'm going to do that. This is the stream where we flee. The rope bridge, which bolstering is not really going to happen. Sprint across, 10 agility. But with a shield 4 there, blind luck will actually lower that to a 6 between the 2 that we have, and we don't have any other peril skills except for protector, I guess technically is a peril skill. So we need to get 6 and 4 with 3 dice, which is 10 total, on average 3.33, which is possible. The skill, spend 2 agility to roll 3 agility to discard 1 of them. It's not really a gain of agility, just sort of a re-roll of sorts. Put your 2 worst agilities in here and try again with 3 dice to increase the chances of getting a better roll. And I mean, I guess you can use it on perils, but strength die is tempting. Even though I prefer mana. I think I will fight this one though. We'll sprint across and we will get lucky. Or not. We didn't even get a 4. Well, blind luck, blind luck. And so we technically have 10, but we don't have a 4. I can aid to get that 4, but the consequences are 3 hearts, which is now 2 hearts. So I don't think it's worth, because if I put a 4 there, I could increase another die by 1, 4, 6, 8, 9. I can't cover the 10, so it's not even worth trying. We can ignore the rule to spread damage evenly. So there's a, so they both of these are at 3. I don't know if it matters who takes the damage. The question is simply, do we want to put all of it on one hero? And I'm gonna say yes, because then we can put poison on the other hero and be a little safer. All right, I mean, strength doesn't really help us for the other encounter we've seen, but I'm gonna go with dice. I don't want to give it to... I mean, the warden has true strikes. I'm going to give it to the warden. So there's an extra potential for her to have a bad strength. Ah, gosh. So I'm already regretting my decision to not bring a mana team because, geez, lots of mana here. However, blind luck does come in very handy. There's 2 dice we can put on 2s right there. We do have a base mana, and we have True Strike plus our 2 heroics. So there's a chance we can cover most of the mana. So I guess the question is, can we cover the agilities and the strength? I am gonna kind of want to gamble. Bull Rush does not help us though, so I don't know. We do have a reroll, I guess. Don't know if that helps. We do have precision. I don't know if that's gonna help. I'm gonna gamble. I'm already in a gambling mood. This is dangerous. All right, the agility is good, and we do have a die for the strength square, and we have a good mana number there. All right, so this might be fine. I don't like that. So we do have something for True Strike, but let's see. So if I sacrifice all of my agilities, we have those covered. 6 probably should go there. Obviously, we want to gain manas. I don't see a reason why I wouldn't want a mana. And so... And these can convert to a heroic as well. We do have a heroic for that. But... Oh yeah, and that's going to be a mana. Lots of poison there. We can ignore 1 poison. So, but we can also cover one of these squares already. So I think that it probably makes sense to do a reroll on Slayer. But the problem is, if this is her die, and I don't remember whose die it was. If that's her die, so I'm going to convert this first because I don't want it to... Yeah, it was her die. One of those was her die. So let's plop that down, and we're going to do a reroll and try to get this to be higher. If it's not higher, though, then that will screw us unless we can try to use another reroll. But I don't think there's a good reason to, because... I guess the worst comes to worst, we have Protector. So we're going to go ahead and do the reroll. Come on, 3. All right, that's good. No consequences. Remember, I was so scared about this encounter? Okay. Piercing Potion I like, but it's not going to come in handy on the boss. We could use it on the perils, and actually using it on a peril would allow us to skip this square altogether. And certainly, the earlier you get this potion... Oh, no, wait, you can't use it in perils. Never mind. It's a combat card. And so there's no shields on the right side, so it's only if the given card has a shield on it, and it's... I don't know. Oh, there is a mana here, so let's take that. And let's give it to the Slayer, because that will give us an extra mana die on the boss. Also, the Warden couldn't take it. unless she swapped out, which I'm okay with the strength there for now. A difficulty 4 guy. That's what I think of it. Rock Worm. Ooh, immunity. Ignore 1 time and 1 poison. Unfortunately, the boss does not have poison on him. So it's not a good boss card, but this is an auto skill, and it can allow you to just outright skip a square if that square has time and or poison on it. And both heroes are at their item limit. So do we want to do this encounter? It is going to be challenging. I mean, Bull Rush can trigger twice, so these are actually 10s. Assuming that I can use it twice. And the 2s can go into probably the mana squares, the more important one. We do have momentum, and we were definitely going to use it. Yeah, so let's go ahead and do that then. Oh man, I have to place poison on the hero. Give it to the Slayer, because she won't die if she takes poison damage. Ah, man. You can at least be precisioned, I guess. Yeah, there's no mana on this card, or no agility on this card, so Okay, so we have a 5 for this armor. We have a 5 for that 5 square. Bull Rush. Bull Rush. Okay, yeah, it did work twice. Yeah! Makes that easier. All right, Fearlessness. Yes, let's see what this gives us. A 3 and a 2. Okay. So we do have a mana 4. And with the heroics, we have enough for the 10. We do have True Strike that we could put there. And if I did that, that would open up that too. Although we are a bit short there. We do still have Blind Luck though. And actually, that would do it. Actually, I didn't even need to use that one, but that's fine. Actually, I didn't need to use that one because I needed to save a strength for the Warden. Alright, everything's covered. So let's take immunity and use that throughout the dungeon and lose it before the boss, probably. Both heroes do not have all skill or any skills, so either hero could take it. I guess, I mean, if there's a, oh, I guess, if there's an agility square, Slayer, agility skill, Slayer would want it. If there's a strength skill, Slayer could at least use it, whereas Warden cannot use agility, so I'll give it to the Warden. All right, so if I explore, I will survive the poison roll because there's a leaf symbol there. But if I explore, then I'm only getting 3 cards and I'm going to exile 1 die. But if I enter this door, I'll spend 2 time before I explore, and I'll also get 4 cards when I explore. So decisions. That fireball skill would probably come in very handy. And surviving a poison with 2 is doable. Plus, we do have immunity, and so we could ignore one of these icons. Some of the times on the manas could be ignored. The poison, we can't just ignore 1 poison. I mean, we could ignore 1 poison. But if I were to ignore 1 poison on a 2 square, then I would still take 1 poison. So, plus I don't use heroic feats, so I can't use momentum. So I guess since I can't use heroic feats, I probably should go into a peril, use momentum, and then go and fight the ice shroom, huh? Alright, I'm gonna explore. And this will make the poison roll trivial because the leaf symbol will add 1 to my poison roll, and I need to roll 1 or higher to succeed. Okay, let's lose an agility. But as we go further in, these decisions will be getting a lot harder. Okay. This is not a peril. Anytime we enter a combat encounter with a heroic die here, we're gonna have to use it. So just, all right. This is a heroic skill, or not heroic, this is an agility skill. Spend a heroic die, gain a heroic 4. Nice. Dice may not be re-rolled or increased, so precision is useless, and endless assault is useless. Too bad you can't sacrifice potion tokens. How would I sacrifice poison tokens? That'd be so great. All right, I think this encounter is fine because it doesn't require too much mana. So we'll enter. Momentum. Good 4. Good agility roll. Good strength roll. Mana is pretty bad on both heroes, but whatever. Got heroic 6 is great always. Heroic 1 less great. Immunity and no need to bull rush. So that takes us everywhere else. So yeah, there's that armor. If I put the 4 there, then I would have to put a 4 there. 5, 6. There is a strength 6, strength 3, strength 2, mana 4. Everything's covered. Great. And let's give this to the Slayer, the skill, because it seems like it will be well. Now, all future encounters are going to lead to experience, which means knowledge is going to build up. not all future ones, but until we level up. Before the encounter, spend 1 time for each closed door. And since there's only 1 closed door, this will spend only 1 time. Whereas if this was the first door I opened, there'd be 3 closed doors, and there'd be basically no reason to fight this guy, since you might as well flee and come back after having opened the other doors. Our strength item is 2 experience, so that's not a better replacement. And we saw Barrage again. Yeah, we already saw Barrage. Well, I think that we're going to enter. Spends time, but that's okay. Not too good of a roll there. My momentum is lacking. My agility is perfect. Now I need to get a 6 somewhere for the mana. Or we could ignore it with immunity. In fact, with immunity, we can ignore all the mana squares. No need to bull rush. There's a 2 there, there's a 4 there, there's a 4 there, there's a 3 there, there's a 3 there, there's a 5 there. Immunity, and there's no consequences. Immunity is so good. Alright, we'll take the experience, and look, Warden got a die. Still trying to find a peril so I can use momentum before I go into the other encounter, but Wisp. Okay, well, this went well last time. We're going to have 4 heroics, and we can ignore a time and a poison, which gets rid of 2 of the mana squares. So this should be pretty nice. Fearlessness is coming in so handy here, except that wasn't too good of a roll. Okay, so before I auto-click mana there, let's see. Obviously our strength is done, our agility is less done. But if I sacrifice that 4, that does it. Our mana, it's odd because this is the highest number, but we can just ignore it with immunity. Let me have 2 2s. Blind luck, but this second one doesn't do me anything. Well, I don't know. This was someone's 2. I guess we can just throw it there because I have a spare mana 2. And then I still have 1 time of consequence, and that takes care of that. I guess it wouldn't technically better to put on the 3, but it doesn't matter because there were no consequences. And again, not enough experience to make it sense. All right, 1 more experience, and I level up. Stupid ice room. I'm gonna exile his strength just to make this even. That's kind of a bad decision, no, or not necessarily a good decision. It's not necessarily bad either, but you kind of don't want to do that just because you want things to be neat. Swiftness Aura is a free agility 3, but we are kind of happy with our current skills. I forgot we had exploit weakness in that previous fight, but that didn't change anything. The item is mana. Mana is probably better. We have lots of heroic, so it kind of doesn't matter which one even though it's mana, you know, we do have lots of heroics. And we also have blind luck. So I guess I want the item over the skill. And we're gonna lose the strength die to gain back some mana. So we'll disarm, and we're gonna use momentum since I can't use it for the ice room, and we're going to use knowledge because I'm going to gain experience after this fight anyway. I already have a 4, and with the blind lucks, we're done. Well, we don't even need blind luck. In fact, well, oh no, we can't use bull rush. And I think I realized that previously when I said, oh yeah, it's only a combat thing. Okay. So we'll give that to the warden. We leveled up and healed the warden. This also gave us a heroic die, which is great. We'll give it to the Slayer since you have slightly more need for dice. And now knowledge is not going. Oh, we can't use knowledge anyway. So right. Okay, our mana, we do have a 5 and a 6. This 3 is not going to be immediately useful. We do have a 6, that's excellent. And before I place anything else down, let's do Fearlessness. Okay. Bull Rush, Bull Rush. We do have an agility for exploit weakness. Probably should use it. Blind Luck. I don't think there's a reason to because we already have that strength square covered. I mean, I guess I could Blind Luck to put into True Strike, but doesn't really serve much purpose. Heroic Forward probably be better, except I'm running low on Heroic, so I'll just make it a mana since that is kind of more of a need. And yeah, actually, no, we're good everywhere, so it doesn't matter. Just place your dice, Lude. Stop trying to optimize your dice when you already have a... Alright, Fireball skill. I think that's important because the most important thing about it is that it gives you a mana 5. And against the Fire Giant, getting consistent 5s are very important since not only do we have limited dice, but we have to cover these. Well, and also these. But there's more personal damage here, more boss damage here. And with 2 Bull Rushes, the 11, well, I guess technically those were 13s. They got lowered to 11 because Bull Rush just lowers everything. Anyway. Yeah, we're going to be able to mitigate the left side through other factors, but getting 5s and 6s consistently are the most important right now. And since the Warden has True Strike and Blind Luck, she could scourge up a 6 of mana for Fireball. The Warden, however, also has Exploit Weakness and Blind Luck. Or Blind Luck and Precision. Oh, but the Warden also has 2 mana dice, so we'll give it to the Warden. Poison Cloud. This is not a peril, or this is a peril. And Spark is an interesting skill. So we have 3 mana dice, 3 agility dice. So actually, mana is actually easier now. Interestingly. Yeah, we'll enter. We'll contain. Spending time's okay. I don't need to use these, I think, because this will become a 7. We have 3 mana dice, the Heroic, Blind Lux. Immunity, at the very least, will make us only take 1 damage and 1 poison, so we'll just skip the feat. And this has to go to the Slayer in case the Slayer rolls a 6, and for some reason I need to re-roll the Warden's side, which might, maybe, no, actually I don't even need to use any skill. Okay. All right, Spark. Unfortunately, like, I like Spark because not only you basically spend 3 mana to roll a mana die that's going to be at least a 3, and it can be used in perils. And it doesn't even, you can put 2 mana dice in here if it's like a 1 and a 2, or 3 mana dice if they're 3 1s. It doesn't even have to total 3, but that kind of be a waste at that point. But most importantly, you can use it in perils, and peril skills are very useful because you can use them in perils. But I think the agility die is slightly more important. Especially since we just said we are short agility now. So let's give it, since this, well, no, if I give it to the Warden, it guarantees we'll have an extra agility die on the boss. If I give it to the Slayer, yeah, so, yeah, I'm prioritizing odds higher than optimizing colors on one side, I guess. Who needs dice in perils? Luck, which is a peril potion, which I think is a little less useful other than getting a potion token, but everything else is slightly more important, I think. Rope bridge, and we do have more agility now. 4 agility dice, 1 heroic, 5 dice, 14, average of 2.8. Well, also this is lowered by 2, so, or no, we can't. Bullet rush can't be used in barrels. Lude, you keep forgetting this very important fact. Man, I wish I could see the board. If I spend 2 time, that's gonna speed up. Because after I spend the 2 time, then the end of turn you spend 2 time will be at -1 cards, and the dungeon floor will basically be over. So I'm just gonna hit the flee button for a second. I'm not gonna commit to this. This is the last. Okay. So if I bolster, then it's the end of the floor. If I don't bolster and I sprint across, I could put 1 card down, spend 2 time at the end of the turn, explore, or not explore, but enter. On the other hand, if I explore for 1 card, I lose 1 die, and that's not really worth it. So actually, I'm gonna enter. And I'm going to strategically bolster, because if I sprint across and succeed, I am going to have to explore, which will force me to exile a die. I'm going to bolster because now I will not be able to explore. Which might sound weird, but trust me, it makes sense. Are we full on? No, we're not. So we're not going to get experience here. But we have immunity. We have protector. We're fine. Remember when I said we're fine? Yeah, I can't cover the 4. I have 11. But no 4s. Jeez. Well. So 2 damage and 2 time. If I use Protector, well, Protector doesn't actually matter too much. I'll spend the time, which I don't care about, and ignore 1 damage. But I'll still take 1. I don't think it's worth aiding, though. Aid would guarantee I do this, but yeah. We'll give it to the warden. And obviously that was going to matter, but that's fine. Yeah, Slayer. And now we'll descend because I don't have any other choice. Alright, so now when we explore, we're exiling 2 dice! Whee! Which, with momentum and knowledge and fearlessness and level 2 heroic, we're using 5 out of the 6. So I think discarding a heroic is still not that wise. You might say, well, you're only using 5 of the 6, but exploit weakness also gives me a heroic. And then even after that, maybe I want to convert dice to heroics. Or maybe I want to use True Strike to get a heroic. So I don't want to discard heroics. So I guess between strength, agility, and mana, which one do we need the least of? And this decision is going to haunt us for the rest of the dungeon, but I mean, we're going to keep discarding dice over the rest of the dungeon, so who cares? We're at 5 agility, 3 mana, 4 strength. So I'm going to discard a mana. That is certainly less important. And most of our strength is being used, but we do have a fireball there that can give me a strength, but we can certainly throw the weak strength into the true strength. I'm going to ditch a strength. Oh, this is not saying do it 2 at once, but it's actually saying oppressive heat. Now, smolder. It's Groot. I mean, Trickster. Which we don't have poison on a hero, so that's fine. Lots of strength here, by the way. Brawn Potion is actually very nice because you can use it on the boss. So I might want to take that potion. Because, you know, dice are going to be very limited. So this gives us an extra strength die. And just in case that wasn't enough, we also get a strength 3. Which on the boss, when we need lots of strength, that's great. So we're going to enter. It's a combat, so we'll roll that. And you can also use it in perils! Woo! Now you understand my strategy. All right, that's a decent roll. I mean, I say decent, it's actually a great roll. Only thing we're lacking is a mana 6, but immunity, obviously. Also fearlessness. We still have more chances. But we can get a mana 6 through precision. Actually, blind luck and precision will do it. And I think that's probably wise. Even though there's no other need for agility, so it could make sense to put agility somewhere. But and then the other issue is that we don't have a mana 4, but whatever. We have lots of things. We do have Fireball. I'm going to use Fireball since my mana there is being wasted. And then Blind Luck for a 2. We still need one more 2. Let's put this 3 there, I guess. 5, 6, Strength, mana, 6. Alright. I'm going to take the potion. I think that makes the most sense. Which means that Strength dice are actually going to be more important to keep. Even though I just discarded one. But really, I mean, we're not in a terrible position yet. We still have 6 strength dice. Agility is definitely less important on the boss, so agility can be discarded more. So I guess agility and mana for the time being are the 2 we're going to be discarding each time we explore. It's also a good idea to not explore as much, so spending as much time as possible might be good. Alright, this is the guy that makes us add poison for each 5 dice, so we got to be careful here. Are we full on dice and skills? No, you can still get a skill. Are we going to get your skill? Spend an agility, roll a strength, gain an agility 4. That is a great skill since it gives us more strength dice. So we're going to get that skill on the Slayer for sure. So we're not going to get experience, so I'm going to skip that one. It can certainly make sense to use those heroics. I mean, I generally am of the mentality that I gotta save my potions, and not potions, but like, let me back up. I am the type of RPG player that saves his potions and elixirs in Phoenix Downs in the event of an emergency later, and consequently I beat a Final Fantasy game with 60 potions and 90 high potions and 50 X potions and 30 elixirs, and yeah, I am definitely that type of Final Fantasy player. There's a lot of need for strength on this card, but other than the 2, we're fine without using heroics. And we can also get away without putting a 5 on that card. Jeez, actually, yeah, we're done. Didn't have to use any skill. Are we already at the point that, are we already at the point where it doesn't matter what we roll? Did I screw up? Oh no, that was the heroic animation. I caught a glimpse of something going in the warden's direction and I got confused. Once potions stop being useful in battle, they become your main out-of-combat healing item. Yes, and that is actually something that I've been very bad at, is remembering that you can use potions to heal. Like when I played back when I was young, Final Fantasy 7, 8, 9, 10, I never used potions, even when they were past the point of being useful. I always used MP to cure, because it's like, well, you know, you can rest that in to regain MP, or in Final Fantasy X, you hit a save point and you regain MP, although you also regain HP in that game. But I was always in the mentality that, like, MP is easier to regain than items, but... And then once you get, like, the Osmos skill, which steals MP from enemies, then you have infinite MP. Anyway, so the potion, again, I don't really like it too much in this dungeon. The item is mana. Mana on the warden would put her at 3, which will give her an extra mana die on the boss, but would also lose the agility die. But the agility is, I guess, not as important. On the other hand, the agility is 3 experience. I guess, well, the Slayer could lose an agility and gain a mana and not have any change in dice totals on the boss. Well, I think I'm going to clear a path more. This is strategic time spending, actually. And we're definitely gaining experience in this encounter, so we're going to roll that. This is not a combat, so I'm going to skip that one. Give this to the Slayer in case she rolls a 6, I guess. She did. But then at that point, it doesn't matter what the warden rolls. So I guess it doesn't matter. All right. You play things like Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, where inventory was cramped, or Pokemon in general, where items out-healed moves like crazy. Yeah, and I have actually played, not Final Fantasy, but RPGs that have limited inventories like that. Actually, Final Fantasy 1, at least the original Final Fantasy 1, did have a very limited inventory space. I think the GBA release made it more classic, maybe, or I could be completely misremembering. But I think it, like, you had 12 item slots, and if you put a potion in, that was it. But in like future releases, it's like other Final Fantasies were like, here's potion, you have 57 potions. Here's high potion, you have 43 high potions, which certainly changes the way you play that game. But yeah, when you have limited inventory, then like once you get to the point where gaining an item and you can't gain it because your inventory is full, certainly makes sense that you're going to use an item at that point, for sure. Then again, the Lude from middle school, high school, he played Final Fantasy 7, 8, 9, was at 99 potions and still didn't use them, even though he kept gaining them. So these are skills that have been developed over years, mentalities that have been realized. All right, so tough decision. Do I want the mana item to replace an agility die, or do I want the experience? The problem is, the only hero who would gain a stat on the boss would also lose a stat on the boss. On the other hand, with finesse and exploit weakness, we do have basically this agility square more or less covered. So the mana is slightly more important at that point then. I mean, obviously there's that 11 there, but whatever. So I think I'm going to replace the Slayer's agility. Even though it's not going to immediately benefit us, I'm not really comfortable replacing your agility. On the other hand, that is a 3. So actually, yeah, I'm going to change my mind because that gives me more experience. Yeah! And since we're trying to avoid exploring too much, we are going to have limited chances to gain experience, so. All right, it's a combat, and we're gaining experience, so I'm not even thinking about it. At this point, we're not going... I guess I could flee and then immediately go back in just to spend it 2 times. I don't think I'm quite at that comfort level yet. Jeez, really? Man, these are bad rolls. This is where the game changes. I was having good luck in previous encounters, and now I'm realizing that luck is in limited quantities. Okay. So I think, I mean, finesse. I think that one has to go in finesse. We have exploit weakness. Bull rush doesn't do anything, of course. And yeah, I can't actually use precision. And the only 2 that would make sense would be a strength 2, I already have a strength 2, although I guess that can go into True Strike. We are out of heroics, by the way. So I don't want to just get a heroic 4 for blindly. On the other hand, I could spend one of them or something. Fireball. Actually, yeah, Fireball if we do this. I guess. I don't know. That burns up a heroic and my worst mana. And gives me another strength die. I do not have a strength 4. I could get a strength 4. We also don't have a strength 6, which is actually a little more concerning. Let's see. We already used immunity. We could use protector. Probably should use protector because let's use some time. That still doesn't give me 6s though, and I can't aid or anything to increase it. I could use brawn, but yeah. So the 6s are probably not going to get covered unless I miraculously roll a 6 on bronze. So that's going to happen. Not the 6, but I'm not going to cover the 6. I gotta be clear. That's going to happen. Right, and then a 5 there. And now I have to try to cover that, I guess. Which I do have an extra heroic now. Alright, so this makes me take 1 damage, and there's no way to avoid that at this point. Oh, jeez. Yeah, because we used all our skills that would help. So. Dems the brakes. Give it to the warden. Both heroes are at their item limit. Both heroes are at their skill limit. And I like my current skills. And we spent so long deciding to replace an agility with a mana, I don't think I want to swap it back. I'll just take 3 experience. Alright, so now we explore, and now we exile 2 dice. So agility we can burn. And I think we said mana at this point. Excuse me. So let's try to spend time when possible. Finish this floor before we lose more dice. Invulnerability potion, which prevents damage, but can't be used on bosses. Strengthen health item. 4 experience, but this won't actually roll over. So one way to spend time would be to stabilize aura. We could also flee and just re-enter. Yeah, I'm gonna flee. We'll come back. Decide later what I'm gonna do. Fleeing and re-entering is a way to spend 2 time. Spike-a-lon, we fought you before. Precise blow, gain a strength 5 and agility 2. I like the fixed number skills, but I think I like my current skills. Fireball is obviously great. Finesse is gonna be great. Exploit weaknesses, great. Immunity is great. But immunity is one that I want to replace before the boss, since it will not serve any purpose at that point. But yeah. So I guess it's a decision on the item. Lots of 1s. This makes me displeased. Well, I can't really fathom a reason not to spend my agility 1s on those skills. No 6s currently, but that's actually, this is not the encounter where getting, or you would, so there's like an encounter that says spend time for each square not covered or something. I don't know. Fireball we could get. think we're gonna use Protector. So I can ignore 1 heart, and I can use Precision to get a 6. I can get an Agility 6. I can also get a Strength 6. And either one would be equivalent in terms of avoiding one of those hearts. I don't... I have 2 5s and a 6, and I can't cover all of them without putting a 5 on one of them and turning it into a poison. And I think... Well... Actually, let me just see. Because it says add a poison to the consequences, but is it also getting ignored? And the answer is no. Despite immunity. Oh, there's about a 5 there. That's why. That was... Okay. Okay, no, it does get ignored. Okay, so I could put that 5 there. But that 4 was going to perhaps be used, so let's not use that one. So now, Precision... Oh, there we go. All right. Thank you, Immunity. And I think it's the same decision as last time. I spent so much time deciding to discard the mana for an Agility, I'm not going to undo that. But now we can equip 1 more item, 1 more skill each. I like the Charmed Panther. Especially, I think this will be great on the boss. I mean, well, yeah, it will be great on the boss. If I take the item, then this will give me an extra die for either hero. If I take the skill, I also get the extra die, but it's guaranteed to be a 4. And furthermore, it doesn't count towards dice number consideration, so I think we want the skill. So let's see, we have 5 dice. We're not going to gain experience, and this is not a combat. But we have 5 dice. Last time I didn't roll a 4. But I think we can do it this time. Or what do we need? We need 18 across 5, so that's 3.6 average. I'm gonna use momentum because that's easier to get back. And it's a 1. Ew. I'm gonna use the other one then. Okay, that makes me feel better. The average is 17.5 across 5 dice, but the 5 is an outlier. Also, that's ew. Is that even... Oh, okay, fine. Barely got there. Needed all of them. All right. Who wants Charmed Panther? Charmed Panther and Exploit Weakness gives me a free Heroic 4. But so does Blind Luck and Exploit Weakness. But I guess Blind Luck and Finesse gives me a free Agility 4 and a free Strength die. So I guess it's Slayers. Also, hey King Banhammer, how are you doing? Rockworm, right? That's his name. Did I remember it from last time? Yes! Feint. Prevent heart and gain a an agility 6. Or mana and heart, which would give us no extra benefit on the boss just yet. I'm doing all right, trying to not lose. If I can succeed in passing this gauntlet, not only do I get the achievement for doing the Forest of Shadows gauntlet, but I also get the achievement for a flawless dungeon run. It might be good to consider replacing immunity. Yes. Which is also a Rockworm card, fun fact. But we can do that later. No need to do it now. Unless, well, the Slayer's at their item limit. Which is actually a little unfortunate because that skill would be one that the Slayer would prefer to have. I guess the Warden has Blind Luck and Fearlessness, or True Strike, I guess, but that's a waste of many dice at that point. The mana item doesn't give us an extra... Well, I'm going to enter, so let's first do this. And I think since you have lots of free abilities, I'm going to give this to the Warden. For Fireball, potentially. Okay. Bull Rush. I can use this. It's been a while since I've used it. Or been able, well, had an encounter where it would have done something. Alright, so... I mean, I do have an agility 1, and agility in this fight isn't doing anything, so let's just see what those give me. And then that one. I also have not used Endless Assault yet, but our combats have been very good. Our perils have not been as good. Strength 4 is the only one that would make more sense, although I guess Precision could use it, but we also have 4s up there. But let's hold off on Charmed Panther since that's a choice. Fireball, we can get... Immunity. True Strike we could get. Probably, well, probably should just be Heroic. No reason it has to be one color. We are lacking in a 6, but Precision would give that to us. Precision and Charmed Panther would give that to us, basically. You don't have a need for that, so we'll just give the 2 there in case that matters. And yeah, let's do Charmed Panther. Oh, never mind, I can't because I'm out of strength dice. That's okay, unless we're short on agilities, which we're not. So that means our strength is spread very thin, and so I basically can't not use a heroic on this square. But we are fine, because that's doable. Alright, now the decision. The mana item also gives me a health. I like that faint skill, but I want the Slayer to have it, but the Slayer has 3 great skills. I guess I could lose Finesse because of an agility 4 and a strength roll versus an agility 6 and a damage prevention, which a damage prevention would mean that I could ignore, if worst comes to worst, I could actually just ignore this 11. I would not do damage to the boss, but I also wouldn't take a damage. And he only has 8 HP, so I could just cover the other 3 skull icons, or the other 3 skull squares that will do 4 damage to him, and So it would still last 2 rounds if I covered everything but the bottom strength 11. So I think that it probably makes sense to lose finesse. And now we are going to enter the Vortex Stone. Yeah, I'm running into troubles with dice caps, but on the boss, dice caps aren't as important because we're gonna roll half as many dice. Slayer would like to learn Hyper Beam, but already has the maximum number of skills. Choose a skill to forget. Yes. All right. So in the Warden, still has an extra skill slot. The Vortex Stone doesn't give me a skill though, and I don't really like that potion. So I guess it's the item that we're getting, and it's a good item to be sure. It's not going to give us an extra strength die, but we're certainly going to take the item, which means we're going to stabilize the aura. And I am just going to use these up, even though this is not a combat, because I don't really feel too confident about my role here, but we already have the right side covered. And we have the left side covered, so I probably should not have been so scared. That said, I did need to use one of those. No, I didn't. I didn't have to use either of those because blind luck. Oh well. 4 experience is juicy, though. And that item doesn't immediately help me. And that puts me very close to getting the second heroic die, so I'm actually just going to take the experience. Alright, that's fine. We're almost at level 4, so I kind of just want to spend as much time as possible. It's a bit scary because we might not be 100% prepared for the boss, but the more time the more we explore, the more dice we exile, which will make the boss harder. So it might be a consideration to discard a heroic die, because we do have 2 from Fearlessness. We will have 2 from level 3. We will have 1 from Exploit Weakness, and that should be good enough for our needs. So we should be able to discard 1 safely. Slayer is more an extreme speed user than a Hyper Beam user. Oh man. Welcome to One Pokemon Dungeon. One Pokemon Mystery Dungeon. One Pokemon Deck Mystery Dungeon. There we go. Alright, and then this one. So the color, whoops. Oh. I hit undo and I was like, wait, did I just... No, alright. I was like, did I just completely skip the ability to exile dice? That seems wrong. Other than the fact that there is that 11 there, I think our agility is more or less fine. Because, like, we have Blind Lux, we have Charmed Panther, we have Feint, and we have True Strike if we need it. So I think we can exile agility. You think Hyper Beam might be the only Pokemon skill you can name off top? I could name lots of skills. The boring ones like Tackle and Growl and Tail Whip and Gust, which tends to be the ones you see at the start of each Pokemon game. But then there's also Splash, which Magikarp has, which is great because Magikarp used Splash, but nothing happened. And then there are some very exotic ones that I don't remember. Okay. So, I think I'm just going to spend as much time as I can. So I'm going to enter each door and flee. This will give me the lay of the land. It will also spend as much time as humanly possible. And we're seeing lots of perils, which is a bit scary because we can't use most of our skills. Alright. We spent half of our time Great. Now, of these, which ones do we want to fight? We probably want to face a 3 experience one just to get the experience and level up. Since we are full on skills, right? Nope, you still have a free skill slot, but I think the heroic die is more important because it will also help with the other perils. Precise blow, warden could take though. Finesse we already discarded, so probably poison cloud then, right? 4 mana dice, 4 agility dice, and no skill that cares about either. So poison cloud, contain, and we're going to use this because we're going to gain experience. Okay, and let's see what happens here. We did not get a 5. Oh, we're also out of mana dice. Well, we can protect. Because we're spending time, might as well. Oh, we did get a 5. What am I talking about? I don't know what I'm talking about. But do I have enough? Oh, right. No, that doesn't count because the dungeon rule that says you cannot place heroic dice on dungeon challenge boxes. So actually this 5 cannot be used there. But between protector and immunity, we are not taking any damage, so that's fine. And we will level up immediately. Okay, none of these are potions, so these are the potions we have for the boss, which is okay. All right, so let's consider dice. We have 2 agility items, we have 1 mana item, but the mana item is not going to give us anything on the boss. So on Rune Circle, we don't really want that item. So it basically is just Swiftness Aura, which is fine. It can be used on the boss and gives us an agility 3. Agility we can give to both heroes, and now we'll give them an extra agility die on the boss. Slayer will have 5, divided by 2 is 2.5, round up to 3. Warden will have 1, divided by 2 is 0.5, round up to 1. So that'll give us 3 and 1 on the boss. So there'll be 4 agility dice. On the other hand, we are pretty much set on agility, as we previously discussed. Slayer might want to have an extra agility to put into feint, though. So the question then becomes, which items are worthwhile? Vine Trap, balanced attack, 2 strength dice, roll a strength, an agility, and a mana die, increase one of them by 1. This one's probably the more useful, or a very useful skill, especially since the Warden is already a bit more strength tuned, because this gives us a potential to roll a mana, and if it's a 4, 5, or 6, we can put it towards the right side in some capacity. Because if it increases by 1, it becomes a 5 or a 6. So that's a 50% chance that balanced attack will give us a mana that can be put onto the right-hand side. Spend 2 strength dice, though. You do get 1 back, but you have to spend 2 up front. Blind Luck gives us a strength 2. And your 3 strength will become 2 on the boss. So Blind Luck and one of those strengths, or perhaps fearlessness or your base heroic, unless I give you extra heroic dice. I keep forgetting, you can spread it wherever. So maybe that's a consideration as balanced attack on the Warden. Thorn Spitter, precise blow, spend a strength die, gain a strength 5 and an agility 2. I mean, like, it's a fixed die thing. We've seen this like 3 times though, and each time I keep saying I don't really particularly care for it. Because what was it we were saying we could... Oh, with feint, we're ignoring the bottom left strength square for all intents and purposes. So we don't really need a good strength number because we have enough strength dice to put into the 13, I believe. Into the upper left 13. That agility die, I guess, could feed into feint. But if I give it to the warden or to the slayer, she needs to have a strength to go into there. So she could take a strength 2 from blind luck to put into thorn spitter to get an agility that can go into feint. But I don't know. You could also just take an agility from blind luck to put into feint. But I guess the advantage of this is that you would get a strength 5 for free. But Charmed Panther also provides a strength. Plus Exploit Weakness wants an agility die as well if we're trying to use it. So I don't know. Bear in mind we have like lots of potions. We've not used a potion in this dungeon, period. So aid was going to come in very handy. This heroic 4 can turn into a heroic 5, so the right hand side is covered. So I don't know. But I think the easy decision was Vine Trap because this warden is going to take it because I think, or we'll take the balanced attack. And I don't think it matters. Well, yeah, we can spend time. We're not gaining experience. We have 6 dice. I can't use heroics on the right side anyway, so I'm just going to skip that. Did not get a 5 though. Oh, there's a 5, but I can't put it there now. So we'll just protect. Okay. And then the Thorn Spitter. Well, I guess actually, do we want to do the Rune Circle? That would help with the Thorn Spitter, I guess, if I take Swiftness Aura, right? And we said we were going to take Swiftness Aura because the mana doesn't help us. So I want the skill, so I'm going to remove the crystal. And we have 6 dice that are all strength. Which one's harder between these two? I guess they're both about the same, especially if I'm going to strike down. Or I guess Evade Thorns could be done. Whatever. We'll use this. And I did want the skill, right? Yes. Because once I roll, I can't undo. I need strength numbers. Okay, well, that does it. Okay. Good. And I guess, well, if I give it to the Slayer, then she's going to be full on item, or full on skills. And we're trying to give her another skill. So I guess it's the Wardens. I guess I could have replaced immunity, which would have given me experience, which would give me a heroic die, but whatever. I'll just strike down. I could do the agility to utilize Swiftness Aura, but I don't think it really matters. Okay. I keep wanting to... Oh, you were already down there. That's fine. Okay, whatever. Done. And precise blow on the Slayer. Okay. That was a 1-round floor 3. So we have 6 strength dice, 5 mana dice, 5 agility dice, 5 heroic dice in our supply. And we're going to roll half of our numbers rounded up. So 1 strength, 2 agility, 1 mana, 2 strength, 2 mana. So hopefully we chose wisely because we're past the point of no return. All right. You'll be fine. Probably. Don't forget I have 5 potions, so. And we have Bull Rush, and we have Bull Rush. Okay. This is where I have to start making decisions. We want to utilize Fireball, and yeah, so this mana, like, those 2 mana dice can't be used anywhere else, so I should probably throw all the mana. I'm going to use this heroic 2, which may or may not be a good idea. Bull Rush is a free 6, yes, because it's lowered all of those by 2 each, so 6 total. Yes, it's great. I guess I could have, well, it doesn't really matter. We still have Blind Luck, but we do have Balanced Attack, so let's take Blind Luck's Strength and throw that into Balanced Attack and see what this gives me. My mana is a 4. I want to increase that by 1 because now that mana square is covered. We would ideally like to cover the 6 though, but we could Precision for that. Just keep that in mind. Well, immunity, might as well. It's not going to do anything. If I use Protector now, it's still going to discard the thing. So yeah, immunity doesn't actually do anything, but I might as well use it because it's free. We do have rerolls. I'm wary of rerolls though. I mean, Blind Luck and Endless Assault, you get a free 2 and you can reroll it, I guess. But I'm wary of rerolls. So what do I want to do between these other things on the Slayer side? Blind Luck and Precise Blow into Feint, I guess. And we do have like something for that. I've moved this to a side to save for the 4, so we want Strength to put into Precise Blow, to put the Agility into Feint. We still have Charmed Panther, and we have Exploit Weakness. But yeah, I think Precision we're going to use. Alright, so now if I ignore everything else, the Agilities are fine. And the Strength is fine. We covered everything. Alright, great. Fantastic. Good job, team. One more round, and I have 5 potions. Can I do this? There's a mana 6. There's a mana 5. So, if I do Blind Luck for a mana 2 and put that into Fireball, then I have the mana entirely covered. And the Strength, well, obviously, we have to figure that out, but hey, let's use Fearlessness. Why not? Okay. Because like the agility is almost there. Oh yeah, we have Bull Rush, so actually let's do that, and then I can save that heroic 2. And the Strength is there. Haha! Easy. We got the achievements for Gauntlet Perfection and Forest Gauntlet Victor. Yeah! Actually, is this it? Is this my achievement thing? Nope. Resident Evil Revelations 2 Slay the Spire, and that's not it. Where did I put it? Not there. I had a sheet. Oh, it's this one? It is this one, yes! Oh boy. Remember, we've been trying to get achievements. I do not have my highlighter here. Why do I not have the things I need to do the cool stuff? Alright. Well, this is my list of achievements. And we have gotten the one for Forest Gauntlet Victor, win the Forest of Shadows Gauntlet mode. We also got the one for Gauntlet Champion, win a Gauntlet run on... Oh no, Fearless difficulty. Yeah, we already did that one. I just never covered it. Gauntlet Perfection is the one. Win a Gauntlet run in just 5 games. Great. And I could, you know, use these, I guess. But it doesn't matter because the Gauntlet is done. I haven't really looked at these statistics in a while, have I? Slayer record. This game won all-time 10-2, global 3,301 to 3,991. Well, clearly I am very good with the Slayer. Warden 9-2, 2,749 to 3,348. Fire Giant record. I am 4-zip on the Fire Giant. That's nice. Interesting to see that the Fire Giant has only been done 1,504 times. 4 of those times were me winning. So if you ignore those 4 times, 1,500 times people have fought the fire giant, and they won more than half the time. A little more than half the time. Half is 750. It looks like it's about like 57% or 56.67% if you ignore my stats. Did I math that entirely right? Am I that good at math? If I hit the divide key. Oh, no, I'm not. It's 52.67%. Darn! Oh, well. Yeah, so interestingly, Fire Giant isn't fought too much. You can see these numbers are definitely lower than the other ones. But people still generally win over him, although I would guess that's more because the only people willing to fight the Fire Giant are those who have some proficiency in the game. That feeling when all the numbers are in the low to mid 40s, but 6s are straight up 30. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I feel like the dice are loaded. 6s seem to be rolled the least often in global stats. Also in all time. That's suspicious. Migrant P has clearly loaded the dice. We only took 4 damage in this run, which is very interesting. We spent 87 time, which is probably a high number, but actually no. I mean, time is always going to be spent, at least like some number of time. Well, I guess it depends on how big your deck is, and it changes based on which items and skills you hold on to. Anyway, 22 encounters survived, I guess, is the more useful number, and that I would say is probably a bit on the lower side considering we try to spend more time than usual because we try to avoid exiling too many dice. But there you have it. We have defeated the Gauntlet, the Forest of Shadows Gauntlet, and we did it in 5 rounds. Oh. Yeah, let's spend the check marks, I guess. It doesn't matter because this is the end of the Gauntlet, but I guess I would probably throw it into the basic focus since that's the only one. Like, aggression is, you know, if I were to continue on, aggression would certainly still be used, but the basic focus is not filled in, and any other check marks would be wasted. And I could fill out durability to have an extra health immediately. I don't have enough to fill up crafty, so I guess filling out durability would make the most sense. And then into the crafty. And there we go. This run is complete with a score of 5. Congratulations, that's the best score possible. Try again on a harder difficulty level. I wonder if it also says the unfearless. That would be pretty amazing. I would guess not. It probably, like, I don't imagine Handelabra to admit such a detail like that. But we did do it on veteran difficulty, which makes me pleased. I like the fearless difficulty, but starting a dungeon crawl with no progression on fearless is quite scary. All right, so we have finished with that, and it is 8:37. That does give us time for some Sentinels, I guess. We could also open up Aeon's End, I guess, if you want to see 23 minutes of me learning Aeon's End, but I don't want to do that. So let's start this up. And this should appear. There it is. And yeah, last time we were here, we fought Oblivion 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago? Yeah, 2 weeks ago. So, and I do want this to be a sort of quick match, so I'm actually just gonna pick this myself. Remember when I did Viewer's Choice? Remember when we had Viewer's Choice on the stream? Pepperidge Farm remembers. We're gonna do classics, so let's see. Let's do a Baron Blade, because another letdown, I think, at one point always ended his streams with a speed run of Baron Blade. And let's do it on challenge. I guess like advanced and challenge would be super difficult. We already fought Ultimate Baron Blade in the Summer of Ultimates last summer, but let's do challenge because reasons. So the only thing about challenge is that he doesn't shuffle his trash into his deck. He does move 3 copies of Mobile Defense Platform into the villain trash, which is interesting. Apparently, you do that without knowing what the contents of the deck are. But let's bring a team of heroes that may not necessarily be good against Baron Blade. Some heroes that are slow to set up, so like Bunker. Let's do base Bunker because he's tends to be neglected amongst all of his variants. Argent Adept is another one that is slow to set up, but it's certainly very powerful when he is. And let's bring, I think we want, which is Benchmark, right? Yeah, Benchmark. We could bring a 4th, I suppose, but 3 heroes tends to make things harder. And in the environment, I know that once upon a time, Mordengrad was advertised as the deck that makes Baron Blade hard. So we'll do Mordengrad. So, challenge Baron Blade versus Bunker, Argent Adept, and Benchmark in Mordengrad. Let's see how this goes. Tremble, fools, the moon grows closer with your every breath. Work together, team, think tactically, and protect your teammates. Alright, so Bunker, also by the way, I should change the game. Also, there are lyrics to this song, which I do not remember, but I know that they appeared on the screen during the listening party, I want to say. But yeah. Bunker has auxiliary power source, decommissioned hardware, external combustion, and omni cannon. Argent Adept has sadistic dissonant, inspiring supertonic, inventive preparation, and vernal sonata. Benchmark has ally matrix, flash installation drive, shunt energy, and subcutaneous cybernetics. So we have the mobile defense platform and haste and doom, because this fight is too slow. And then living force field, which you probably don't necessarily want to get rid of, especially because we kind of can't really, currently we can't get rid of ongoings. We could get rid of it with sadistic dissonant eventually, but getting rid of it will put a card in the trash, so we probably don't want to get rid of it. We have to get rid of mobile defense platform. Bunker does not have a means of doing so. So let's dig for cards. And auxiliary power source will draw twice as many cards as skipping would. So let's do auxiliary power source. Because we could external combustion, but that will be 3 damage. And that's it. But flat cannon will also give me 3 damage next turn, so it will work out. I love inspiring supertonic. I don't think there's really a reason to do that unless we want to have Benchmark deal a target 1 damage. How much of a boost would Bunker get if his cards weren't limited aside from his modes? I mean, if heavy plating wasn't limited, it would be ridiculously broken because he has 3 copies of it. Reduce damage dealt to Bunker by 3. Yes, please. But a card like Ammo Drop would be nice to be not limited, I guess, because what, he only has 2 copies of it anyway? No, he has 3 copies. But like Bunker's thing isn't, or not Bunker's, Haka's Dominion isn't limited, and that's fine. Certainly being able to draw additional cards would feed Omni Cannon faster. So there's certainly a reason to limit card draw, perhaps. Plus it would negate recharge mode, certainly. But yeah, I mean, I could see like having 3 grenade launchers. That would be fun. Certainly would make turret mode a little more exciting, being able to choose between 2 grenade launchers or 2 flat cannons. So yeah, that's certainly something that could be considered. I kind of would like to see, well, I could also see why it can't happen, but an environment that says limited is no longer a keyword or something. in some capacity. It would be ridiculously broken. So it needs to be in a Rook City-esque environment where there's only one good card, and it's the one that says limited is not a word anymore. All right, so Inspiring Supertonic, hero is a power, would only be good to give Benchmar a damage dealer. But Shunt Energy, I guess, I mean, like, he could do the 1 damage on his turn, whatever, but we do have Shunt Energy for card play. I guess it's a software, though, so it would be a temporary thing. So you probably want to give him something else. Inventive Preparation is a tad boring and slow, and Sadistic Dissonant is not useful when there isn't an equipment, or isn't an instrument. So I guess the answer is Inspiring Supertonic. But yeah, if Benchmar wants to keep his software, he needs to get a hardware out. So I guess that answers the question of what I'm going to do. Flash Installation Drive can potentially put softwares into play. Subcutaneous Cybernetics would keep Benchmar alive, but it does not stop the moon from crashing into the earth. Ooh. Lots of hardwares. So I did sign up to submit to the Mordengrad track, but I kind of got scared and didn't submit anything. But at the same time, like, he was looking for serious, like, singing as opposed to, like, the Coliseum, which was just vocals. So, or not vocals, but, you know, Coliseum speech is what I mean. He wanted vocals, like music vocals, not blah blah vocals. All right, Flat Cannon, I think. I could put out Omni Cannon, but Flat Cannon is going to do more damage faster. Well, it's going to do damage faster, but it's not more damage. This card can add up for sure. And we're going to need to use this card, I think, basically, in order to deal with, like, Living Force Field and whatnot. And we do have a healthy start for that. But I think Flat Cannon, just to get rid of the mobile defense platform faster, is probably better. Otherwise, his power phase is a little dead. But what I'm foreseeing for Bunker's next turn is Omni Cannon, then Recharge Mode. Because you could still do the start of turn thing if you're in a Recharge Mode. And that will lose his power, but it will grant Omni Cannon, and we can flip Baron Blade and kill him very quickly. Actual singing, not Crowdmaster. Yes. And Adept can get more Flat Cannon shots out. Yes, exactly. But while I could also just put out Omni Cannon and then use base power to draw more cards, each card is worth 2 points of damage in the end, whereas Flat Cannon is 3 damage. So towards mobile defense platform, Flat Cannon is more valuable. But towards Baron Blade, 3 damage minus 1 is 2, so this will be equivalent to Flat Cannon. So Flat Cannon for now is wiser in terms of getting rid of the mobile defense platform most efficiently, I think. All right. I'm going to put out Inventive Preparation in hopes that I get an instrument that can activate the perform of a harmony and accompany of a rhythm. Alright, so if I do Shunt Energy, this will take out the mobile defense platform with a bit of damage waste. And we do have some hardware that could perhaps do it. Microfabricator, at the end of your turn, you may play a hardware card, and we certainly have a plethora of hardware. So we probably want to do that one, actually. And it's still going to be a bit of a damage waste, or not damage waste, but... Unfortunately, the mobile defense platform still exists, but that's okay. I can now play a hardware. We only have the 2. At the end of your turn, we get a hit point, or if you do not draw a card, you may play a software card, which will let me play a software out of turn. Well, not out of turn, but now. This provides for HP recovery and whatnot. This also provides for increased HP recovery, which it does not otherwise have, at least for now. But the softwares we have, they are all powers, and so not necessarily necessary to get out of turn just yet. Next damage dealt to that target is irreducible and increased by 2. Is nice, for sure. Basically is a +1 to damage with living force fields, so tactical communicator, obviously something to consider. It's not as good as GI Bunker, making damage irreducible for the rest of the round, but oh well. Defense assembly line. So what's going on here, by the way? Because I've not played this environment too many times, so I don't want to just start playing on autopilot. Remote walking tank. Reduce damage dealt to this card by 1. At the end of the environment turn, this card deals a hero target with the highest HP 300 damage. When this card is destroyed, play the top card of the villain deck. So that's okay to leave out, I think. It's only doing 3 damage, and destroying it is going to make Baron Blade play cards, which can be bad. Generally, villain card plays are bad. Device assembly line. At the end of the environment turn, discard the top card of each deck in turn order, starting with the villain deck. Whenever a device is discarded this way, put it into play unless one player discards 2 cards. That's tragic because it's a discard. And we do not have environment destruction right now, so it's gonna linger. Oh wait, what happened? Oh. Wait, hold on. What did I do? Oh, I got dealt damage, so then it wants me to discard to regain hit point. I don't need to do that. I thought it was telling me to discard for device assembly line. Backlash field. So backlash field definitely is going to hurt, but if we're going for the Omni Cannon strat, then it's not going to matter. What was I thinking of? Oh, what do we discard here? We discarded a Devious Disruption! Yes! Thank you, Device Assembly Line, for stopping that! Woo! Alright, but otherwise, this game is now a little faster because of Device Assembly Line. Alright, Omni Cannon. And it's a bit of wasted damage now, but take it out and then Benchmar can deal with him. Okay. I'm gonna put out Sadistic Dissonance so that I could perhaps destroy Device Assembly Line somehow, maybe someday. So with Backlash Field, I kind of don't want to use Flak Cannon on Baron Blade. It's 2 damage at the expense of 3 damage. Benchmark could use his base power and not actually hit Baron Blade, so I guess that might be fine. Now the question is, do we want to use Shunt Energy? Or do you want to dig for the hardware that reduces damage dealt to Benchmark by 1? Because damage reduction plus HP recovery when you get dealt damage plus increase HP recovery by 1 will make Benchmark nigh indestructible. Yeah. We didn't get it. Oh, but we did discard it. Why did we discard 2? Oh, because it got discarded by my own effect. Okay. Nope, we got it. We're good. And I can put it into play at the end of my turn. I didn't even notice it was my trash. I didn't even think that I had discarded it. And I don't want to use that. Okay, yes, I want that. I also want the thing that gives me a start of turn power, because that with secondary cannon is nice. Oh, then he may discard a card. Okay, yeah, I already played my hardware part, so. Ugh. Now it's a +1. Another living force field. Okay. Now is the recharge mode. So we're going to have Bunker, draw cards to feed Omni Cannon. We're going to have Benchmark, whittle down Baron Blade's front side. Once Baron Blade flips, we will have Bunker Omni Cannon him out of existence. That's our current plan. We're still lacking on Argent Adept setup though. All right, so now that I know I have hardwares here, may use an additional power during your power phase. Or do I want to get this out? Which will also let me play softwares out of turn. Or draw more cards. Or get a random hardware. Or, well, there's two hardwares. Inferno missile pod. I love this. All I wanted were missile pods with freaking infernos attached to their foreheads. Inferno. Okay. But the one I want is Legion Core Processor. So I'm going to try to get that. I got it. Woo! All right. I guess I could discard a software just to get it back into play through Flash installation drive. Maybe that's actually, I'm gonna do that. Yeah. Because the software I want to use is the thing, Shunt Energy. Oh, we have a -1. But now I can get Shunt Energy into play. So I don't have to lose a card play to do that. I'm not going to discard for this though. What was that? Missed it. Blade Battalion Commander. All non-hero targets with a max HP of 5 or less gain the keyword minion. At the end of the environment turn, each minion deals the hero target with the highest HP 1 melee damage, which, by the way, your damage is increased by 1. But there are no such targets right now. Consider the price of victory! You're hurting me. Bearing in mind softwares could be brought into play through my discard. Probably could make a decision, but I also have another thing that will discard on my end. 10 cards in your trash. Ouch. I don't like this. This is pretty bad. Our game's not going to last for too long, unfortunately. We kind of have to start doing things. Especially because when he flips, he's going to put 2 more cards in his trash. And device assembly line, which we still can't get rid of. Oh, no, actually, no, we can get rid of. Because we got an instrument. However, I don't want to have to do it this way. But we do have a means of getting rid of that, and that will make this game not as fast. It's tragic that this is the only way I have currently of destroying an environment card, but whatever. You would think that Benchmark would have found his thing, right? He has the thing. Yeah, he has Threat Neutralizer. We have not found it in the top 2/3 of his deck. Okay. I would like to use multi-point HUD at the start of my turn, but I don't think there's... Because I already have an additional power, and I would want to play something that... Well, I guess we could use Shunt Energy twice. He only has 2 of those, to be fair. Yes. But you know that Mr. Fixer also has 2 hoist chains. And what were the bottom 2 cards of Mr. Fixer's deck that one time that it happened? I don't remember what episode it was, but remember when the bottom 2 cards of Mr. Fixer's deck were both of his hoist chains and we were digging for it? That was good times. So, upgraded memory units, I guess it's not too necessary since I haven't been doing the HP recovery part. So I could, if you can hear me, say the number 54. Should probably wait until ads are over, I guess. Let me just check my end if I'm back. OBS said I am. Am I? I am! Okay. Sorry about that, internet. I don't think it was my internet, but once again, an OBS hiccup. Alright, so I guess I could do multi-point HUD and then play Tactical Communicator, use Tactical Communicator, and Shunt Energy. So I do have the thing that when I use a power, discard a card to deal damage. Unfortunately, with 2 living force fields, that gets negated. I have onboard cooling systems. First time a software enters play, deal up to 2 targets 2 cold damage each, which after the +1 will become 1. So that's something. So I think I'm going to use the power. Increase damage dealt this turn by 1. Not going to discard. If I had the Infernal Missile Pod, which is what I was trying to figure out, if I had that in play, it would be wise to discard it. Although not necessarily, because it's 1 fire damage, which is getting reduced by 2. But yeah, Tactical Communicator, that's a software entering play. Backlash field reacts. Not gonna... Oh, I could discard... No, it's only 1 HP. Not gonna bother. And I'm going to... Don't want to hit that one for sure. I'll hit this guy. The mobile alert platform. Alright, then make the next damage dealt to Baron Blade irreducible and increased by 2. I could use it up right now, and this would deal 3 damage. 4 damage, actually. And then Shunt Energy would do 3. That's probably fine. I'll ditch another multi-point HUD. I guess you could use it twice, though, so I shouldn't have done that, but that's fine. Because this game has to, like, go fast. And then I don't want to do that. Ally Matrix. Actually, I could discard for software I want. But we don't really... But I do have that in the trash. Woo! Alright, now, load on installations. Get that one. And let's play a hardware, because yes. Then he may discard a card. Not going to do that one. I did not... So, okay, so this one says he may play a software. So let's do Ally Matrix. Sure. Blade Battalion Platoon. And I think I now want to start considering discards for HP reasons. Especially because you have a +1. How much damage is this doing right now? 23? Okay, we're going to destroy stuff. Argent Adept is going to destroy most of his things. Whoops, that's... I wanted to see what you had first. Hold on. Hold on, we're going to do it. You do have another Instrumental Conjuration. So we could try to do Inspiring Supertonic and Inventive Preparation combo. But certainly that's more damage. Benchmark would like to keep as set up as possible, but he could lose load on installation. That's just a quality of life card. Ally Matrix can be fun when bounced between Argent and Adept, but I don't think it's necessary. I want to keep Shunt Energy, Tactical Communicator. I guess upgraded memory units not as important. Microfabricator, I'm going to ditch because I already have all the hardwares other than one. Put a software from your trash in the play. I'll ditch that one. I'm not happy to destroy hardwares, but you know. Reinforced chassis, definitely keep. Secondary cannon isn't doing anything. Subcutaneous cybernetics is a hit points, which is kind of a equal to Benchmark in terms of whether he keeps or destroys. Agent core processor, either move. I want to keep that one. I want to keep this one. So I guess subcutaneous cybernetics. We currently have 3 software, so I could destroy cybernetics. I want to keep the other 3, right? Yeah, so I'll destroy that one. Even though it's equal to Benchmark. We have to keep the team alive. All right, let's destroy Sadistic Dissonance and Scherzo. And then Bunker. Black Cannon, for sure. If I destroy recharge mode, we lose the ability to draw cards. Well, not the ability to draw cards, period. Oh, man. 13 still? Oh. Oh, man. This game's gonna end so fast. Oh, man. This is not good. This is really not good. Actually, that's not the one I wanted, I think. I don't know what I want, actually. But the minions on the environment side are going to end this super quickly. I don't even think it's worth doing this. Oh, man. Let me think. It's too late to undo the destruction, unfortunately. So I probably should have destroyed more cards, because Inspiring Supertonic isn't going to do too much for me when I don't have, like, superpowers. And Inventive Preparation is a card play for Benchmark, which isn't going to do much, so might be better, actually, for Argent Adept to do Musaragni's Harp to get hit points. Well, I can still do this. Okay, that's fine. But this is gonna hurt. Especially because I lost the cards that would have healed Benchmark. Oy vey. But I don't really want to. Hey. Is this gonna kill me? Nope, still alive. Ah, Baron Blade. Oh man, even more things that discard things. And I think this is it. Maybe. No, actually no, because... but then the other guy goes off, right? Yeah, so it doesn't matter. Ah! This was hard! Well, I guess I got what I wanted. A hard Baron Blade match. Didn't even get him flipped. Alright, well, if you think you could have done better, go ahead and try this out. Challenge Baron Blade in Mordengrad with Bunker, Argent, Adept, and Benchmar. And good luck, because there are lots of things that discard cards, and not as many things that destroy ongoing or environment cards, although Argent Adept could have easily gotten one of those cards eventually. Benchmar also. I mean, technically, Argent Adept did briefly have the statistic dissonance, but oh man, that was rough. But that was a fun match, and I think that the games that you lose are just as fun as the games that you win, especially if they're close. In fact, I think that generally games that are close in either direction are the best games of Sentinels, in my opinion. Games where you win with full HP aren't necessarily that exciting. Can be fun to steamroll, but also can be quite lame. Games where you lose in like 2 rounds and there was nothing you could have done, also not as exciting. But games where like it lasts 12 rounds and could have gone either way in the end really makes you feel like you made an impact in the game. If you win, then you think to yourself, I made this victory happen. It could have easily gone the other way if I screwed up any step along the way. Or if you lose, then you go, well, I lost, but I held my own. Maybe I could have made one decision better. Maybe I could point to a single part in a game where I made the wrong call, but it was close and I held my own and it was great. Those are the best games of Sentinels. And that and One Deck Dungeon are great games for illustrating that, where it's like, it feels daunting sometimes at certain points, feels impossible, feels like you're not going to win. But if you hold your own and sometimes have to get lucky, but, you know, be strategic in your decisions, play the best cards, then you will have those close games. And more often than not, you'll end up winning. And definitely between Sentinels and Multiverse and One Deck Dungeon, certainly the biggest complaints I see are those that say this game is too hard, it's impossible to win, blah, 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 blah. When in actuality, yeah, it's hard, but if you think about what you're doing, you can do much better than just playing blindly. And you have to challenge your assumptions as to what the best card ever actually is. The best card ever is the guy's card, of course, but anyway, not to keep rambling on about nonsense, but thank you for watching. It is 9:12. Sorry about the brief hiccup, but this was a fun stream. We got those Gauntlet achievements for One Deck Dungeon, and we fit in a Sentinels game. Next week is another Dolphins dive as usual, of course, and we'll maybe fit in an Aeon's End game. We'll see. So the other streams on this channel are Handelabra Live every Tuesday with John and sometimes Jeremy, 2 developers, or well, the head of Handelabra and one of the head developer rather, and they like to demo content before it is publicly available. They also announced on Tuesday that Aeon's End will be and has now been in early access as of 2 p.m. Eastern today. So be sure to check that out. If you backed the game, I think you have to have had backed the game in order to get it, maybe, or you could get, I don't really know how early access 100% works, but you could, if you backed it, there is a Steam code on your backer kit that you can use to unlock the game. Every Friday at 7 p.m. is Dolphins Dive with me, and we play One Deck Dungeon and Sentinels of the Multiverse, sometimes well, sometimes not well, sometimes we misread cards, sometimes we make stuff up, like we did in the first 2 minutes of this stream. And every Saturday at 8 p.m. is On Deck with Pirate Savvy in Dover. But next week, I believe they're moving to, next week they're going to do their stream on Thursday, not permanently. But I think this week they're still good. So tomorrow, 8 p.m. On Deck, Pirate Savvy in Dover. Brother-sister duo, very charming. And every Sunday is Tales from the Archive with another lit down for some storytelling Sentinels, some insights into the lore of Sentinels, or at the very least, some made-up fan fiction, which is always fun to watch. If you liked the games that I played, the first game I played, One Deck Dungeon, is available physically and digitally. Sentinels Multiverse is as well, but One Deck Dungeon is through Asmadi Games. I had to double check what that was. Asmadi Games is the company that has made the physical version of One Deck Dungeon, and you get the physical game through Asmadi Games, or you can find it through online retailers like Amazon or your local, board game dealers, whatever. The digital game is produced by Handelabra and can be found on Steam, iOS, and Android devices, even phones, as was released a month ago. Sentinels the Multiverse is developed by Greater Than Games, and there are a bajillion expansions for it. Unfortunately, the last expansion came out within the past 2 years, so it's over and done with. But Sentinels of Earth Prime is in development by another company, which will follow up with the same strategy gameplay, but in a different comic book lore setting. But anyway, Sentinels Multiverse is through Greater Than Games. You can get the physical game there, or through online retailers like before. You can get the digital game through Handelabra, through Steam, iOS, and Android devices, even phones, which is great. I don't think there's anything else I have to announce or talk about, so thank you all for watching, and please enjoy this Baron Blade track.